Well, hello, coding fans. Today we're looking at Lesson 8 of Unit 1. This is where we propose an app. We create the basics of an app that could go onto a phone or a computer of some other sort, but presumably this would come from a phone. And I'm going to be giving you a description and how-to on how this should work. So let's start with what this project is. So you're coming up with an app, and your job is to work with a partner if you want. In this case, you don't have to, since we are in distance learning. Define a real-world problem. What's a problem out there that needs to be solved, that could be solved for an app? I mean, if you think about what all apps are, they're all problem solving. Everything that's on your phone is meant to solve problems. Brainstorm ways an app could be used to help solve that problem. Identify the inputs, outputs, storage, processing used by your app. Share your ideas with another group or a person to get feedback. Incorporate feedback to create a final version of the app, and create a poster of your app to share with the class. Now, you might not be creating a poster. Maybe you choose to make a presentation instead. That's totally fine. Maybe it's a slides presentation. Maybe it's several slides. Maybe it's one slide, and you try and put everything onto one. Whatever works for you, that's what's important. You're going to be submitting the poster of your app, completed peer review, and this project guide that I am handing you or giving to you now. So if you want to find a partner, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. If you do, you're going to need to figure that one out. So our rule with partners is you need to figure out how you're going to work this and problem solve yourself. Your job is to have this done on time. If you can't figure out how to do it on time with a partner, then you need to do it by yourself. I'm spending a minute on this because I really cannot tell you how important it is to problem solve your way through partnerships, through work that's group, individual, whatever. Figure it out. So you can, well, we got in a fight. Well, you know what? That's the risk you take in getting a job, working with someone, whatever. You might end up doing more work than somebody else. So now that we've gotten that taken care of, let's move on to the actual project. Brainstorm problems. What are some things you'd like to improve in your school, neighborhood, community, task, in your everyday life that you wish could be completed more easily? A cause that you feel strongly about, something that is currently convenient or annoying to do. Inconvenient or annoying to do. Brainstorm. Okay? I want at least 5 ideas. Have at least 5 ideas. Brainstorm. Okay? Then you can choose one and move on. If you have only one, then you have nothing to go back to. Okay? Choose your problem. So once you've brainstormed it, choose it. Find one that's interesting, well-defined. Can you specify who specifically the problem affects? What needs to change, and how you'll be able to tell that the problem has been solved? And it should be relevant. Can it be addressed by computer science? Okay? Define your problem. So what is the problem? Is it that SpongeBob has a hard time locating jellyfish? Okay, that's an example of what out there. Maybe you're having a hard time. It's fishing season. I'm just going to use that. Maybe you're having a hard time finding a place to fish, and you just think that's so annoying. So maybe you develop an app that helps people find a place to fish. So the problem is I can't find a place to fish, and many other people have that problem. Who does the problem affect? Anybody who wants to go fishing. Okay? Be as specific as possible. Maybe it's older people, younger people. Maybe it's everyone. Everybody likes to fish. I mean, not everyone likes to, but anybody could like to if they want. So who does the problem affect? Be very specific. How will you be able to tell that the solution to this problem has worked? Okay, in our instance of finding a place to fish, well, the person is going to be able, people will find places to fish, and the app will help them do that. Okay, maybe it's rivers, lakes, ocean, whatever, but they can all be anyway. So that is how you'll be able to tell. People start finding places to fish, and they can go fishing. Your app, name your app. I'm going to call it Go Fish. What does your app do? Write a short description of your app as, well, our app helps people find places to fish and go fishing. What's the input? Okay, now you draw sketch what the screen of your app might look like, okay, based on the description. There could be a menu that could show a map, whatever, okay? And what's the output information? Label the different outputs, okay? Maybe it shows a river and there's different arrows that it points to places you can go. Okay, maybe it lists rivers to go fishing at or specific GPS coordinates. Maybe it has days until friends' birthdays. It counts down. Okay, maybe it counts down to fishing season. All right, whatever the case may be. Maybe it shows the different fish that are open for fishing this time of year. Inputs. What are all the things that you can input? So, my age, I might type in there. Okay, that's one example. I might type in my current zip code. So I have 98360. What's the source? Well, it could be a sensor. It could pick you up from your GPS, but it could be user also. Example 98360. So I put in zip code or city. Here, what I want to fish for. All of the things that are information inputs. All right. Whether it's user. Remember, user input is a user is typing it in. A sensor is some kind of sensor. Maybe it's a sound, maybe it's GPS, or maybe it's external, which is the internet, basically. If you have questions about this more specifically, and you don't have to have 6. Okay, you could have 2 or 1 or 3. Okay, but regardless. So now, when computers process information, they take the input, they process it all, and you get an output. Okay, so in the case of my fishing, so I got zip code / city state. Okay, source. I'm just going to you got to put it in yourself. User 98360. Okay. What you want to fish for. That would be user. Okay, salmon. Age. User 12. Think. All right. So now, here's how this is going to work. My app is going to take the age of me, what I want to fish for, and the locality. A locality is the zip code. Take my coordinates, my age, and the fish type, and it's going to process all that to give me the nearest river that I can, nearest body of water that I can fish at and tell me if I need a license and punch card. Okay, doesn't matter what a punch card is. If you go fishing, you know. But see, that information wasn't given before. The computer, the app processes this to make the nearest body of water that I can fish at and tell me if I need a license punch card. That's it. Okay? It might even give me specific, it may even give best places on that body of water. So it might point arrows on the river, like, hey, this place is open, or this is where fish have been caught. Okay? This might already exist too, I don't even know. But the point being that this is going to help people catch more fish. All right, what information is going to be stored permanently in your app? So, you know, I'd probably want to put my birth date because, you know, like, and then it will just update your age and then tell you if you want a fishing license. I can maybe it stores my favorite places to fish. Okay. Those are just some examples. I don't need to go into every single one, but there could be several. All right. Now, you make a list of all those things. Peer review. Okay. Now, you take your app idea and you show it to someone else, share it with them. Maybe you have your mom or your dad. Maybe you have another student, you share it with them, whatever. And you have them look at peer review. Is the problem well defined? Yes. Okay. And then here in comments, easy to see what the problem is. Okay. That person is going to, and you will do this for someone else probably, tell what's the evidence that it was good. Maybe I'm going to change this. I'm just going to change this to, instead of comments, evidence. Easy to see what the problem is. Find a place to fish. Okay. Does it address the problem? Yes, it helps people find a place to fish. If they don't know, if the person or if you see this and go, it doesn't address the problem, put an X. Can't see what the app addresses. All necessary input and output listed. Maybe you have some ideas when you're looking at somebody else's. Maybe you have some ideas on what they could add to it for storage, processing, and input and output. Okay? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, yeah, it's got zip code, age, bodies of water. Maybe, though, you're like, oh, nearest store, remember, add nearest store to get the license. Okay, maybe. And then it could probably say, you could have it store have the app store nearest stores and places to get cheaper tackle. Pre-response feedback. What do I like? When you're looking at somebody else's stuff, they would say what they like about yours. I wish that this, what if you did this? And then you, the person who actually has the project, will say, okay, the piece of feedback I liked most was this and why. Here's the piece of feedback that surprised me because I didn't even think of adding stores. Based on feedback, what changes will you make? Okay, and then maybe you're going to say none. Maybe it's, oh yeah, I'm going to add the stores piece. That's really great. I appreciate that feedback. Okay, now you make the poster or the presentation. You can draw the app in a Google slide, whatever you want to do. So you create it. You create the app, not with the coding or anything like that. You turn all of your app idea into a poster or a presentation. Okay? And here's what you're going to need. You need to have these things from the rubric. Okay? Well-defined problem, target audience, details of the problem. How do we know it's solved? What? That's all from the actual project guide. Clear description, what it does, why it would be used. Now the outputs, is it sophisticated? Does it have like one output and that's it? And it's very simple. Are all the outputs described and how they could be used to solve the address the problem? The inputs, does it list the inputs that could be used? Clear and understandable processing, how information is processed to produce mine. Mine would be at a 10. Okay, it should be clear how the app takes these outputs, the inputs, and makes an output. Okay. Stored information clear. Does it work? Clear evidence that peer review was used to make quality changes. Okay, or did you actually use a peer review? This is why you need it. You could lose 10 points just for not having somebody do the peer review. Okay, have somebody do it. Presentation is neat and has all information required. Okay, and you can get up to 10 bonus points for making it awesome, super awesome. Neat, tidy, go into detail. Have fun with this, okay? Don't look at this as a big problem. Look at it as fun. Everything's a problem if you make it. Finally, you've got the practices reflection with problem solving. How have you grown and how do you want to grow from here? Persistence, okay? If you don't know what persistence is, it's pushing on when things get hard. How did you grow during this project and how do you want to grow? Creativity, how did you grow during this project? How do you want to grow in the future? How did you do in collaboration? How about communication? Okay, how you've grown, how you'd like to grow in the future. This is a necessary part of this. Take some time to do it. So, this is the app making project for Unit 1. This is the peer review for it. Here's the rubric, super important. You're going to be given this. Here's the project guide that will allow you to be successful. Okay, and then finally, the computer science practices reflection. All right, so this is Unit 1's final project. It's worth 100 points. Take your time on it. Make it look awesome. Spend some time. Have somebody you know and trust to do a good job to work on it and do the peer review. So that's it for now. Thank you, and have an exciting time with this.